And for some reason, am still muted. How's that? Hello, everyone. Sorry, hello. Hi, stream. We're live with Broken Bane D&D. I've got all 4 players this lovely day. I've got Battle and Freya and Yume and Winnie. And we haven't played D&D in a while, so this is gonna be a good example of a session of what getting back into your game looks like. Right, folks?
You never forget.
Yes.
It's like falling off a bike.
This is the getting back on part.
It's like falling off a bike. That's perfect. All right. Well, what were y'all doing the last time we played?
Well, I was teaching everybody how to flirt.
We were on a train.
Telling stories.
Oh, I forgot about the flirting part. Yeah.
We were making our way forward on the train.
Yep.
For some reason, Vanessa Carlton? Making my way downtown. Walking fast. Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Are we on our way to a big city? Can it be called downtown, Spoon?
Yes. Done. I hate naming stuff. Yeah. The city you're going to is called downtown.
But that's not what I meant. Like, can we refer to it as downtown? But that works too.
Yeah. No, that's its name now. I don't think it had one before. So, and I'll spell it weird.
But wait, can we
named
call
downtown.
it downtown
love
downtown?
it.
Yes. Yeah.
That way, like it's downtown. So then when we have to go downtown in downtown
Yeah. You have to be really
or
worried
uptown
about
downtown.
it. Yep. Absolutely. The next arc will be in downtown.
I love it.
And I'll make sure to spell it real weird. Perfect. What else were you doing?
We found out that there's some nefarious stuff going on. Well, more than we assumed there was nefarious stuff going on the train. There's some things we already know about, but it seems that the whole shipping process, the industry with this particular line is kind of nefarious or sleazy
Black
as well.
market. Yep. Yeah. And just to remind any viewers or for those who are joining us for the first time, we are specifically on this train because Yume has something that she's looking for, and everybody else is helping her sort of look for it. So as they've moved through these train cars, they've been sort of like looking around to see if they can find what they're looking for. That sum that up about right, Yume?
Yes, looking for a friend-shaped something.
A friend-shaped something. So at the end of each session, I write down stuff that y'all tell me you have learned, and it has been a while, so it'll be fun to see if I remember what any of this means. Winnie is steadfast when she is uncomfortable. Freya doesn't like tea. Battle likes to solve everything with flirting. Learned more about the train, shady business going on in the front of the train. Air Genasi was the origin or style of the train. Winnie lost a piece of fruit, which is why they went to the baggage car. That was the reason you all were in the baggage car. We figured that out. Now,
That was our excuse.
yeah. Let's take a look at who took the role-playing point last time. Looks like Freya, for Freya's equivalent of a magic sneeze when she failed a roll. And Battle for being Cyrano de Bergerac for Winnie. So yeah, last session was fun. A couple other good moments where Winnie trying to chat up the bartender with the conversation definitely mismatched. I really enjoyed how awkward that got. I thought it was really good. Yume's positive, youthful presence in the last 2 car has, and I quoted this directly, has experience practicing presentability and kindness in a smile on top of discomfort. Such a good phrase. And then Battle encouraging Shy and utilizing Shy's cuteness when they need it is quite good as well. Anything else anybody remembers or wants to call out before we hop back into this?
It was a lot. It was good.
All right, so just to paint a picture, y'all are in a train car. This is a particularly opulent car. The walls are sort of swathed in this nice red fabric. You're sitting in really plump comfy red armchairs. There's a maroon carpet, very plush carpet on the floor with sort of white floral patterns. And there were 4 gentlemen in here who I'm sure I described wonderfully last time. Bet those descriptions were great. Pretty sure one of them was old. One of them wasn't.
They were awesome.
Awesome. Well,
Yes, that is
refer-
true.
Does anybody remember what they looked like? Because I don't.
So I can tell you the one in the northeast corner of the train car was young.
Great.
And then the one next to him, between the young one in the northeast corner and centrally north next to Yume, was old.
One
And then
had
the
a
one-
top hat and a monocle.
Oh, right. He was reading
Yes.
a newspaper too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I don't remember what the guy between me and Freya looked like.
Right. All right, and I believe Shy has distracted the guy on the door. And wasn't he getting like super anxious when you were talking about the nefariousness of the? Because the guy you were talking to was like, the guy you were talking to was like telling you like rumors and stuff, and the guy at the door was getting really uncomfortable. So I think
He's been really casual about all the shifty business going on, and
right.
the attendant was getting real nervous, wanting him to be quiet.
Right.
But we also calmed him down with. Did Shy get on his good side? We managed to get him to agree to just like let us through whenever we want.
I don't remember that.
Sorry, I phrased that poorly. Like when we're ready to move on, he will let us through. I didn't mean like coming back whenever.
I don't remember you negotiating with him
Was
to
that the
be able to
previous-
get through the door. I
Was
think
that
it was
the previous
the previous
card, or was
one,
it this one?
Because you haven't talked to this one yet. This one, I don't remember you talking to this one, but I'm happy to be corrected. But I believe he was getting really sort of anxious, and then Shy was like presenting her head for pets, and he ended up petting her, or rather, she was sort of getting him to pet her by rubbing her head on his hand, and that was
Okay, I might be misremembering.
No, so
I
I think it's
remember.
in the middle because if I remember correctly, when I was wrapping up the conversation with dude that I was talking to about the girl that he likes, I'm pretty sure you had the NPC like tell him calm down, this isn't a big deal, and or I told him like we're not trying to cause trouble. I don't remember what the conversation exactly was, and I don't remember trying to convince anybody that we should go through, but
I
at
haven't.
most maybe a statement around like we'll get out of your hair momentarily or something like that.
I have a note that says you guys are hanging out for a minute to let the attendant calm down. I like how both of you are paying attention to your dogs right now. That's perfect, because I just turned my attention to my dog too, and I was like, oh, we're all doing it. They all need us at the same time. All right, so let's say Sir Reginald has sort of turned back to his book. A quiet descends. You can very clearly hear Shy panting happily, and you're just sort of, this is a comfortable silence. This is the kind of silence you would find in a parlor car like this, where you're meant to relax and there's meant to be quiet. And so the gentleman with the top hat and the monocle might have been getting a little, harumphy about the fact that you all kept talking to each other, but it's a comfortable quiet. So you hang out here for a couple of minutes. What are you doing next?
Maybe we should keep going. I think we've
Yeah.
certainly been enough bother here. Seems newspapers are to be read and cars are to be monitored.
Mhm.
If we can, I don't. It kind of sounded earlier like maybe the front cars aren't for everybody.
No, we came from where the fancy cars were, so like we should be able to get through the rest of the train, except for we'll need to once we get through like business class, and I don't know what the rest of the classes are, but whenever we get through whatever classes there are in the train, then there's the like secret storage at the front. But we should be able to travel through until we get to the secret storage point.
Mhm.
Right. Can everyone roll me a perception check really quickly?
Yes. 10.
18.
Yikes. Yikes.
21.
10.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll for Shy or no?
No, Shy wouldn't pay attention to this. So,
Okay.
Yume and Winnie, you both notice that the guy on the door had the ring that he would use on the door is a swirl of gold and silver. And the swirls are big enough that you can very clearly see the bands of gold and silver on them. You also recall seeing the same. You also recall seeing the same on the gentleman in the last car, which was the dining car. Same ring. And
Oh.
the car before that, in the first class car, the ring that you saw there was gold, silver, and steel.
Oh.
Interesting.
So what is this one?
The one,
Gold and silver.
yeah, the guy has a gold and silver one.
So it's like as we go up, the rings are getting more expensive.
Less complex, thus less senior.
Gosh, I don't know what to do about that. But I'll whisper it to whoever I'm next to. The workers have different kinds of rings. We saw the crystal ones that are breaking on us, but the ones they're holding are also different from each other.
I'm gonna like gesture at Battle and Freya to like look at the ring. And like try to be really subtle about it so the guard doesn't see me telling them.
What are your passive
Does
perceptions?
that fly?
14
You want me
is
to
my
roll or
passive
just tell
perception.
you?
Yeah, just tell me what your passive perception is.
How do I know which one's pass? Oh,
There's a- yeah.
16.
I think you would see that for sure. Yeah. Both Battle and Freya, I think, would see Winnie sort of like awkwardly pointing at the ring.
Okay.
How aware and smart does this guard look?
Roll me an insight check.
Okay. It's a 14.
This guy looks a little young. All of them have seemed kind of young and sort of fresh-faced, except for the guy running the bar. In the dining car, he seemed a little older. And this one seems to be nervous even when you guys aren't making him nervous. He sort of fidgets and he tugs at his collar and he tugs at the ring and he like pats it to make sure it's still there. And he
You know where I'm going.
what?
So Shy's not going to be able to grab it off his hip, is what you're telling me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I actually did work out what each of the door guards were going to be like. And so the particularly dense one was in
Bar.
well, no, he wasn't really dense. A particularly dense one was in first class. And
Oh. With the ladies.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I mixed up the way my cars are laid out. Let me just fix that really quickly because it's going to bother me. Yeah.
Time. So, is there? I wish there was a way I could whisper to everybody, but I'm literally like amongst all of the other passengers.
Yep.
This is hard. Okay. I think I'm gonna point at Winnie and be like, do I talk to him?
But he's just gonna kind of shrug, like, I don't know what to do.
Were we aware of what was in the next room already?
I was just gonna ask you that. I don't remember whether I told you what was in the next room. I know you know that somewhere along the way there's a car that they load stuff into sort of secretly.
Yeah, there's no like sleeper cars on here.
Right. You guys haven't seen any business class cars or any cargo cars beyond the one you saw in behind first class.
'Cause I'm thinking about just walking up and saying, "Hey, can we go into the next room, please? Next to the next car." But I don't know offhand if that would be a normal thing or
You-
if.
I do remember one of you mentioning that you were new to trains and so you were exploring. I do remember that being sort of a pretense that you guys have. So yeah.
If no one else objects, I would be very happy to just leverage that right now. Like, oh, I've heard enough stories. I want to see the rest of the train. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's do
I
it.
support it.
Yes.
Leverage
Perfect.
We don't
that.
like stand up at the same time, just like it's a natural thing. Like we're just gonna go explore the rest of the train.
Perfect. All right, who's doing what? Besides all
I'll
standing
ask
up at
him.
the same time.
Sounds like Yume is going to lead us.
Yeah. I want to explore the rest of the train. Can you let us through, please?
This boy sort of gulps and he takes the ring off and then he looks around at all of you because you're all sort of, I assume you're all sort of clustered up getting ready to go through because
Yep.
you know how these doors work and he says, why, yes, of course, yes, and
You won't have to worry about us after this, sir. Don't worry.
the guy that you were talking to, whose name I wrote down as Sir Reginald, looks
Seems
up
right.
looks up from his book and says, he says, relax, lad. They just want to go into the next car. Go ahead and let them. These fine ladies are just exploring the train. And he's like, of course. And he just sort of like fumbles the ring and he puts it in the door and it opens.
Fish.
We can come back. It's okay.
And he's like, oh yes, the guy in the next, the gentleman in the next room will help. Yes, and he just seems like a nervous humanoid.
Hmm.
I'm just getting the
Poor
next
guy.
room ready. Yeah, he's a goofball. I like him. I think I'm gonna have him show up again. All right, so you all pile through. You're entering what would be considered business class. So what you're seeing over here is less decorations. You're seeing plain tables with what look to be comfortable chairs, but not like armchairs. And on the tables are a lot of paper. There's a lot of folders and paper and books. And the four men you see in here that are sitting have suit coats on. One has his suit coat draped over the back of the chair. You can see he's sort of rolled his sleeves up. He also seems to have his hands plunged into his hair, and it's all sort of standing up wildly, like he doesn't believe what's sitting in front of him. He's got a newspaper in front of him. The gentleman to your right, so the top right-hand corner, it appears to be copying from one book to another. And then there are two gentlemen in the bottom left-hand corner, and they appear to be conferring on something. everybody looks up as you enter, except the guy with his hands in his hair in the top left, and the two that are conferring look back down at their paper, but the one that's next to the door says, "I say, what brings you ladies here today?" And he's looking at you all curiously.
Well, this is my first time on a train, and it's very interesting to me, and I was hoping to check out every car, see what's going on here.
And
It's
he
very
sort,
new and very exciting.
sort of squints at you and puts on a pair of glasses and says, "Oh, I see. Well, there's not much to see in here except, I mean, this is the business car. And he holds up a very small disc that is silver. I think it's silver. What colors? Yeah, it's silver. And he says, "So of course, you ladies must have gold passes to be able to wander the cars." And he sort of wistfully says, "What's it like in the parlor car?" Which would be the car you were just in.
Freya looks at him and says, "It's kind of boring, to be honest."
And he looks sort of crestfallen, and he says, "Yes, I see that must be so to such fine ladies as yourself."
Oh,
And he takes his glasses off and he wipes them with a handkerchief, and he puts them back on, and he sort of sniffs and goes back to what he was doing. What do you do next?
gosh. I just realized so much about this train that I didn't pick up on before.
Would you like to share?
And
Yes,
just
do
that,
tell.
like, our passes, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me now, but I didn't realize before that our passes limit us to specific areas. I thought it was just kind of an open thing that anybody could go through.
Well, I don't think it's really been discussed before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're feigning that we have gold passes now, so I want to sit down somewhere where there's papers laying around so I can read them.
Okay. So there's a table right next to the door that's got some loose papers on it. And as you go to sit down on it, the gentleman behind you turns around and reaches across the chairs and says, "No, Ned, it's right here," and grabs a piece of paper. And it looks to be like spillover from their tables. And he sees you about to sit down, and he says, "Oh, pardon, we're just sort of all spread out. Do you need the table
No,
out?"
that's okay. I just want a place to sit. You can leave everything out. I won't get
Oh.
in your way.
Will
I'll
you-
move the chair if you need me to.
Will you hand me the one with the yellow mark in the corner? Right there?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I
thank you.
try to read anything? Can I try to read anything off of it as I'm handing it to him, or is that too obvious?
No. Let's do a quick
Something check.
investigation. Give me an investigation check. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I lost Discord. Where's my
Got
Discord?
it.
There it is.
I rolled a nat 7, and then I have a
Ooh.
+4, so it's 11. So hooray, more cards!
Yes, my tendonitis is acting up, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
that hurt like hell, but I'm sure it will be worth it. Kara's like, "What are you doing?" Whoop. And that was battle, correct?
Of course.
Um,
Has anyone else rolled a 7 yet?
no, I don't think so.
Forgot it was a thing.
I rolled a
Ooh.
nat 7 earlier, but I did not read out loud what happened. Because I'm using
Oh.
something different for my dudes. So... Let me look at what everybody's passive perceptions are really quickly. Got a 16 from Battle, 14 from Freya, a 15 from Winnie, and I have lost
10.
Yume. Thank you. Okay. So I don't think Yume would notice this, but I think Winnie notices this first. Winnie, you realize that Battle almost appears to be glowing. It's very faint, and then it gets stronger as she's sitting there, and you're looking at her, and it almost seems like she's blushing, and then you realize that she is turning a very bright and vibrant and very life-affirming green.
Like a sick green?
No,
Or
very
like
like it's a very healthy life green.
Is anyone else noticing this? Like any of the passengers?
Nobody's looked up. No.
I'm gonna
Do I notice it?
anyone to notice, and then like
I think
if
you
someone
would
starts to
notice.
notice, I'll try to distract them.
Yeah, Battle. I think you would notice. Like your hands are green, and you're glowing, so you're like casting a green glow on the papers in front of you.
I'm fairly certain I had a hood or a cape or something, I know the dog is wearing a cape.
The dog is wearing a
But
cape.
I think-
You're wearing kind of a suit coat, and like nice
That's right. So
over your armor.
You have
get
long
away with like a
sleeves.
traveler's cloak. No.
Not at this point. No.
I think I look at my hands, panicked, and I look up to see if anyone else notices, and I make eye contact with Winnie, and I'm just like, what is happening? And shove my hands under the table.
The gentleman behind you turns around again and says, "Oh, would you mind handing me the blue fold?" Oh, can I have the blue folder? And he just sort of looks at you, like
What if-
perplexed.
By the way, did I get anything off of the yellow tipped paper when I rolled
It was an 11, right?
11%? Yeah.
They appear, the writing on them is very close, or very tiny.
Okay.
It looks, the paper you picked up looks to be somebody's shorthand notes. So they're the kind of notes that somebody would take like in a meeting.
Okay. So
And-
nothing super like
Not that you could see, no.
I can't pick up much from it. Okay. So I think I meekly hand it to him and say, "This is what happens when I feel helpful."
And he said, "Oh, of course. I mean, yep." And he turns around like he wants to ask if you're okay, but he can't quite. Ugh. And so he turns back around to Ned, and Ned's now peering past his shoulder, like, and the guy like slaps his finger down and says, look at this folder here. This is where we get into the meat of the detail. But he's now sort of like looking over his shoulder at you, like, to see if you turn any other colors.
Do I?
Nope.
Good.
The guy at the table in the top left-hand corner makes a sort of low growling noise. He's staring down at this newspaper, and he's sort of like shuffling through it, and he's got one hand thrust into this hair that's all standing up, and he does not appear happy in any way.
I wanted to ask, would he be like facing the direction we came in from, or kind of away from the door we came in
He's
from?
facing
Because I was thinking, ahead.
He's facing away from the direction you came in from.
I was hoping if it made sense that while other people were busy, that I could just try to like read the newspaper over his shoulder.
Oh yeah,
If that makes sense how the room is set up.
yeah. Roll me a
Trying not
stealth
to
check.
get too close.
That'd work really well. Roll me a. Oh, I want to see a. No, just roll me an investigation check. I think.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a natural 20,
Excellent.
and that's 22 investigation.
That's an excellent investigation. He appears to be reading the business section of a newspaper, you know what stocks and bonds are. I think Yume, very sort of vaguely, involves a lot of numbers. So he appears to be looking at a financial report in a newspaper, and he's comparing it to a small blue book that's maybe 3 inches tall, and it's got very tiny numbers scribbled all over it. And he just he keeps he's got one finger going down the paper, and then every now and then he picks up the pen and viciously crosses something out and makes that low growling noise again. Every now and then he
Okay.
flips through the book, and he keeps shuffling the paper he's flipping back and forth through the paper to look at different things.
Just boring business stuff. Just more math. So
Yep.
I'll leave him to his work. Go back to my friends.
Okay.
Nothing suspicious.
Can I try to read the papers on the table before they ask me for other things?
Yes, roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Just hoping it's not a 7. 23.
Oh, great. Yeah, you are looking at accounts of some kind. These look like a very large business. You see references to moving actual stock, like animals and grain and goods. So you see a lot of. This appears to be going back quite a while. You're seeing dates going back at least the last year. And as you're looking at this, you sense there is sort of an order here. This may be separated out into quarters. You do keep seeing the word. What did I name this train? Oh, you see the same.
Z.
Yeah, the name of the train, ZHEI. You see that everywhere. There appears to be corrections and scribbled notes in the margin, to other files. It looks very, very well organized. As you're realizing this, he turns around and he says, "Oh, can you hand me?" And I think with a 23 investigation, you already know which folder he wants because he took the blue one last time, and so there's another sort of lighter blue one in that same pile. Would you just sort of preemptively hand that to him?
No, because I don't want him to think that I figured it out.
He points.
Or that
He points at that exact
Okay.
file, and he's like, "Would you mind handing me that one? Is this gonna make you greener?"
I don't think so.
Oh,
I'd appreciate it if you stopped commenting on my skin, though. It's kind of strange.
oh, yes. But does it hurt?
No. No, sir. I told you.
Oh, yes. And he turns around after you hand him the file, and he says, "No, Ned, it doesn't hurt. Now shut up." And Ned sort of like if you turn around and catch Ned's eye, he turns bright red, not in a glowy way, just in an embarrassed way, and hunches over the papers. They appear to be sort of consulting and then stamping stuff.
I feel like I would feel compelled to comment to Ned, "Looks like you're glowing too," and then turn around.
Yep, and he's super embarrassed. The gentleman that you've been talking to is older, and the other one's younger. It's almost like he's an apprentice of some kind.
That's great.
Like
Yeah.
to glide up to battle. Oh no! Did you find another trap?
I don't know. I don't think it's getting worse, and it obviously doesn't hurt, but I really don't know what's going on, so I hope it stops.
Okay. As long as it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
I
mean, you'll be able to see stuff
I
in dark
really need
rooms
help.
for a while. Yeah, I'll let you know when it goes away.
Gem hammer. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Like
What's
casually peek under tables, look for any boxes, any places that
yeah? You just sort of
a
wander
big
around
bee
the room.
might be able to be contained in.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Then I'm gonna check in with Winnie and Freya because I haven't checked in with them. What do we got from your Yume's investigation check?
Dirty 20.
Excellent. The tables in here are just round sort of single leg with the feet spread out underneath tables, and the chairs don't have any fringe or anything. So it's quite easy to see that there's nowhere in here that a bee would have been stored. There aren't any boxes or bags or anything, actually. There might be little suitcases and little sort of carrying things for the papers and stuff, but that's about it. Yume, no, sorry, Winnie. What are we thinking for Winnie? Is she?
I've been debating if I want to do this or not, but I think she's feeling like she wants to put into practice what she was trying to do with the bartender in the dining car and walk up to like the table in the lower left and try like flirting with them.
Okay, yeah. If you want to do that, try that out.
With Ned?
What's that?
With Ned?
Wait, Ned?
Are you gonna try flirting with the gentleman that has been asking Battle for folders in the bottom left?
Yes.
And the guy opposite the table him that's closer to the left wall of the car, his name is Ned, who you all know.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Yes. Oh, that's right, because he did say, like,
Yes.
stop asking Ned.
Stop
Okay,
asking
got
Ned.
it. Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm
All
going
right.
to try.
What's this look like?
I'm just going to, like, casually wander up to the table and, like, lean on the table a little bit. And then be like, So what brings you on the train?
Are you talking to Ned or the older gentleman?
Both of
That's
them.
amazing.
Oh, the Ned is bright red and looking very steadfastly at the table. He's looking very, the eyes are glued to the table, and the older gentleman is looking irritated at Ned, like, manners. But he looks at you and he says, "Oh, we do accounts for my lord, and we have to retrieve. We survey the my lord's holdings, and we have to get all this, settled and stuff before we get to downtown."
Who's my lord?
Oh, the GM is pausing to think because she has to make something up. He says, "Oh, my lord is well," and he sort of pauses, and he looks thoughtful, and he says, "My lord is my employer," and he clearly thinks he's being crafty.
Oh, what kind of business do you do?
He waves in a manner that probably feels like he's sort of airily, oh, all kinds of things. My lord likes to
Can I
be
Can I chime in?
diverse. Yeah.
Is all you two know how to be is rude? Have a conversation with the lady instead of jumping her questions.
He looks at
And I
you,
turn around, snap my head back,
and
with my glowy face.
he turns back around and he's like, I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm so sorry. And he's like trying to apologize to both of you at the same time, and he looks kind of miserable. He's like, I'm sorry. We're just not supposed to talk about my lord, which is why we say my lord instead of his, his actual name, and we're not really supposed to talk about his business, And he's sort of looking at you imploringly,
I snap at the dog and send her over to the guard in hopes that she's going to stop him from hearing this conversation.
The guard?
Yeah.
This guy looks bored as hell. He is not paying attention in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, good.
When Shy comes over and he notices her, a look of stark terror appears on his face. And he presses himself up against the door, and he goes, "Nice doggy. Good doggy. Nice doggy." And he's absolutely terrified.
This is amazing.
Do I see it, or because my back
yeah.
is turned into?
I think you would
Okay, I just-
observe Shy because you're still getting to know Shy and the working relationship.
Yeah.
So you'd probably be observing that she does what you tell her to.
I'll probably call her right back.
He stays like glued up against the door, and now instead of being sort of sleepy and bored, he's staring at the dog, and he's sort of edging over closer to this chair in this corner, so like he can like use it to put it in front of himself. Maybe he even puts a hand on it, like starts to sort of slide it into position. He's very focused on the dog. Winnie, how are you reacting to this awkward gentleman?
I'm trying to find my notes. I'm trying to remember what Furbolg house I'm pretending to be part of.
Oh, right.
Do you remember what the name was? I can't find my notes.
I
wrote it
made that
down.
up. No, I super made that up, didn't I?
Something Flora?
Yeah, I feel like
Yes.
it was like Flora.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is now.
There we go. Writing that down again.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be like, oh well, I was just wondering because I'm of the Flora Furbolgs and maybe I know your employer and maybe that's something we have in common.
And he says, "Oh, Flora, Ned, do we work an account with Flora?" And Ned starts like feverishly going through this paper, and he has made zero noises. He stops and he looks up and he looks very apologetically embarrassed, and he points at the table, and you just hear this little squeak of yellow folder, and the older gentleman looks completely exasperated, and he turns around and he says, Madam, may I bother you for that sort of yellow folder there, perchance?" And it's
I
in
like
a
that he's
different
now
file.
incapable of picking up his own folders.
Well, he doesn't want to go around her. You know, he's a gentleman. Like, he doesn't want to reach over and...
So instead, he just makes her do extra work. I think it's funny.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what's
it's
happening.
on the next table, and she's sitting between him and the table.
I'm
right?
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
because I wanted to sneak through his papers. Because if it's animals, I'm starting to wonder if it's something to do with familiars or not. So I'll play along, because now I make him I've gone from helping everyone Casanova to being the intimidator. So I'm gonna ride that train
Well,
of energy.
you're the third...
And
You're
just
the
go for it.
You're the third character in my games right now that is this color, although for completely different reasons. It'll be interesting to see
this
how
is great.
when this one wears off, actually. So, yeah, you hand him the folder,
Oh no.
and he sort of bobs his head and, "Thank you, ma'am." Like he's trying, and he keeps switching between ma'am and madame, like you've made him like uncomfortable. And he flips back around and he hands it to Ned, and Ned flips through it feverishly, and then he kind of turns it around, and he's sort of trying to hold it's a thick, like it's like a 3/4 inch file, loose paper, and he's trying to hold it up and point at a name, an account, as the paper is like sliding down out of his hands, and he's like trying to keep it in and like point, and the gentleman, the older gentleman, is like makes an exasperated noise and snatches it away, and he looks at it, kind of has to hold it up close to his face, and he's like, "Oh, yes, my lord does have an account with Flora. Were you seeking us out for business reasons?"
Oh no, I'm just here with my friends and we're riding the train and just seeing if I know any familiar faces.
"Oh, I don't think we've met before. No. Ned?" And Ned, like, shakes his head back and forth very vigorously, like, "Nah, absolutely not." And he's, like, trying to, look like he's doing something useful. And then the gentleman sort of, he looks at you, and he looks down at your hand, and it looks like he's gonna take your hand, and it doesn't look like he knows whether to shake it or kiss your hand, and then he sort of pulls his hand back, and then it looks like he's gonna stand up, and then he sits back down, and he sort of like awkwardly bows from his chair and says, "Milady?"
Oh,
And-
you don't need to do all that. That's okay.
It is impossible to think of any other creature in the world that could look more uncomfortable than these two poor men.
We're just like torturing people.
Yes, it's great fun. All right. Well, while you're making these gentlemen uncomfortable, what's Freya doing?
I'm assuming Freya has noticed that Battle is green.
Oh yeah, at this point, everybody knows she's
Okay.
green.
So Freya's having the thought that we might be able to use Battle being green to get us into the like secret storage, because I'm assuming that the secret storage might involve some like powerful magical items. And so maybe if Battle being green starts to become distressing and weird and upsetting, and we claim that it's some kind of horrible magical reaction or curse, they might take us to the front cars to try and contain whatever shit is going on.
That's possible.
So Freya's closest to Yume. So Freya's gonna like lean over Yume and very quietly talk to Yume about this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's doable. What do
Yume,
you...
what is your response? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so you don't know why she's green either. And we could try to make something out of it. So we just ask the
Freya
worker.
is not at all concerned about why Battle's green. Battle does not seem to be particularly distressed.
Yep.
She immediately is like, how do we use this?
This is weird, came out of nowhere, but how do we use it? How do we put it to our advantage?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just ask one of the workers, like, start
I think-
showing that we're really like scared and concerned, and ask them if they can help us fix it.
Yeah, so I need you to start working yourself into being very distressed. And Freya's gonna like work her way over to Battle and try and like get Battle's attention and try and get Battle to like step away enough or like move over enough so she can like also quietly talk to Battle.
You're right across the
And-
table from Battle. You could probably
Okay,
just
then I'm gonna lean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean over the table and be like, Battle. I'm gonna be like, we're gonna use this whole green situation to get us into the magical cards. Like, how good are your acting super distressed and potentially possessed skills? Because I need you to use all of them.
I mean, do I have to act
You need to
possessed,
be-
or could I just cough?
I mean, you need to be distressing enough that they don't want you in any of these train cars, and they think that it might be a magical malady that is potentially could be spreadable. So they want to try and contain and fix this problem.
I mean, I feel like I do that already, but okay, let's go for it. That's fine. Okay.
That's amazing.
Where do
I absolutely did not know how y'all were gonna get through this train, and I'm glad I didn't try and figure it out because I would have been wrong.
so?
Well, I mean, you can't
so
predict
Battle-
that card pull.
I mean, I think
Could
you
not.
need to like be as you need to be as you need to be distressing to everybody else, right? Like
Like freak people
Okay.
out.
yeah. So you need
think-
to like if you want to
Okay,
talk.
I think I know what to do.
That would be cool,
I
but
think-
we're all
think I
going
know.
to
I-
distress.
I think I know what I'm gonna
Go
do.
ahead. I will follow your lead.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna start by I'm gonna start slow.
Mhm.
Start by kind of rubbing my hands and being like, "Why won't it stop,
Yeah.
sir? What have you done?"
Are
And
you?
then I start rubbing my arms. First, a turtle appears, and I have to take care of it.
Oh
and
my
now I'm
God.
green.
Everything has happened to you, right?
Do you hex people?
Are you?
Do you hex people with your paperwork demands? I'm of course blaming this on
You're
the old
yelling
man,
the
and
old
I'm
man,
sort of
right?
more like amped. Like, sir, I don't want to glow anymore. I'm really uncomfortable.
He's got these folders in his arms, and he just sort of awkwardly like bowed at Winnie, and then you start yelling at him, and he's like, "What? You're Ned? What? No, and the guy in the
I think
door,
I'm gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
the guy in the door, like he like takes a step forward and then he like jerks backward and he's like he clearly doesn't know what to do and he picks up his ring and his ring actually at first glance seems silver all the way through, but then you realize that the second metal in his ring is a platinum. And the
It's more expensive.
the genasi or the thingy, the door knocker is a platinum, whereas the one on the door previous was silver. And he can't seem to decide whether or not to come over and interfere or not. What else are you doing?
I think I'm gonna start snapping at Shy to lick my legs and like try to help me get it off.
Freya is going to stand up and also look very distressed and start making a fuss
Mm-hmm.
What is Freya making
about
a
how there's
fuss?
something.
Yep.
So Freya is going to stand up and she is going to channel every obnoxious, over-the-top human she's ever met
Mm-hmm.
and start like trying to figure out what exactly wringing your hands means. But she thinks it means that you like clench them and you move them back and forth a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to stand up and be kind of bouncy and move back and forth. And
Oh, we lost Freya's audio. No, did her machine die?
I was gonna say, did her computer crash?
Oh, it's such an awkward time for it to crash.
No. But we could attribute, if that is what happens in this moment, that if until she comes back, we could assume that it's
We could
because I'm
assume that
also
it's
wringing hands
continuing,
and
yeah.
rubbing.
Yeah, so you're
So
both
it's
sort of.
probably an escalation.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her if she was gonna try and pretend that it might be happening to her too. But okay, so you're all making quite a bit of noise. Yume, are you joining in on this?
Yes, I didn't want to cut anybody off, but I was also going to jump in like, Battle, I thought it was just a color change. You're uncomfortable too? It's starting to hurt? Is it part of the papers? What are they... And then I'm just going to turn and look to the person walking, like, guarding the door with the ring.
Yep.
The people you have here are... Is it a curse? Like, what is
You
this?
said this was business class, not infection class.
He shakes his head back and forth really, really quickly. So Freya's
You
computer.
treat your customers?
Freya's computer froze. So I want to do a quick sort of.
can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. Okay.
I'm back. I just jumped in on my phone.
Your web captions are gone, but that is okay.
I will get back on my computer as soon as I
No,
can.
I understand. It's good. Was the last thing you heard your description?
Yes.
Yume's joining in with the fuss, and Yume, go ahead. Would you mind telling Freya what you just said?
Just kind of like building off of what Battle said, that it's starting to hurt or itch or whatever. And like, oh wait, I thought it was just color, but like you're hurting too. So acting very concerned for Battle, and then turning that and being like, what are you going to do about it? Like, why is this happening? And like under your watch in your work, like what are these business people doing with dangerous papers that are infecting our friends? Like, what's going on here?
He looks so incredibly nervous, and he sort of makes a squeak noise, and he puts the ring in the door and darts through it, and the door closes behind him. We are going to take a break. It's about an hour in. We're gonna take a.
You sneaky!
Yep.
Whew.
We're gonna take a. So I have said 10-minute break in the past, but we tend to do more like 15-minute breaks. So I'm gonna call it a 15-minute break, and maybe we will come back sooner. So stream,
Okay.
we will be back at 40 minutes after the hour. So see you in a little bit. Stream. Hello, Stream. We're back. All right. So we left off on our break with battle, Freya and Yume causing a ruckus. The guy on the door didn't seem to know what to do until Yume was like, "What are you going to do about this?" And then he just dashed through the door. Ugh, sorry, I sneezed. Oh, those hurt. Sorry. I'm in
Go
California.
away, smoke.
This smoke is really bad. 1 minute.
Well, if it's helpful, I think I'm gonna continue making a ruckus so everybody leaves this be, and maybe walk towards the door and say like, "Thank goodness that other man showed us the backup system. I want to have a word with his manager."
Oh,
Oh, dear.
the backup system.
Yeah, the crystal ring. Remember, there's a crystal ring.
Yeah, I know.
There's gotta be a crystal ring in this car,
I
right?
don't think we should tell them we know that.
Are you all moving towards the door?
I mean, I'm already
Think
right
so.
next to it, so.
Yes.
Okay. Winnie, what was your reaction to them sort of causing a ruckus? What is wrong with my throat? I will sound like a frog for the rest of this session. Yay.
I think I have kind of frozen a little bit.
Like, you're not quite sure what's happening.
What I thought was going to be the plan is now not the plan anymore. I'm having trouble transitioning into a new plan.
What was your plan originally? I'm just curious.
I really hadn't gotten past, like, I'm going to flirt with these guys and try and get information about what could be next on the train or
Excellent. Yep.
what they know about the train, so.
Excellent. Good. So, Battle, you have marched up to the door and decided that you're going to use the emergency system. And Freya, have you followed Battle?
I follow Battle, and I'm trying to get her to stop telling people that we know about the emergency system.
I think Battle was so caught up in her frenzy and was overly inspired in her trying to convince everybody. Is Freya saying something to Battle?
Freya is doing that, like, quiet as she can, very intense stage whisper, like, Battle, stop it. Like, just be distressed. We will get you. And then she, like, stops and really loudly, she's like, she clearly, it's getting into her brain. Someone needs to help her immediately. Who knows what she's even talking about anymore?
I think I catch on. And I'm like, what do you mean, my brain? You don't see that wolf over there?
Shy is at
I
your
like
hip.
point toward the frenzies man.
Yeah.
And Shy's at my hip, and I point at like the man with the
Fully
sticky
lean into
hair,
this.
completely away from us.
He puts it.
Excellent.
He like looks at you and he's like, he like looks behind him and he looks at you like he's completely bewildered. And the guy that was copying notes in the top right hand corner, he's frozen. Like he's not unnaturally. He's just sort of like looking at all of you because this storm of women have sort of moved towards this door, and Ned and the older man are sort of, they look hunted, like they're starting to like scoop up the paper on their table and they're sort of edging away from you, and they flee away from this back to this table where all of their other stuff is, and they're starting to like organize the paper, like shuffle it more together, like they're planning to flee farther.
Ooh. Someone was able to listen
Grab
through a
all
door
their
before early on. So I think I moved towards the door once I noticed that the attendant was like using the ring to go through it, but obviously didn't get through in time. Wasn't
Well-
going to try to like chase him through it, just going in that direction.
Why don't you
But now
roll...
that he's through,
No,
well,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was thinking about just like since we could hear through the doors before, maybe they can hear us if we're loud enough. So I'm going to start like banging on the door and shouting, and saying like, "Do you have a healer on board? Is there some sort of arcanist that can help us?" My friend has an ailment and it's magical. We need help.
I think I'm gonna start pacing the car and start mumbling and rubbing and shy. I'm just gonna like try to get her attention and maybe like pat my thigh so she. You don't have to pace.
I'm gonna do it.
Um,
It's great.
and you don't have to drag her with me, but I am imagining this as if she's like trotting behind me back and forth, still trying to lick at my leg as if I like smeared secret peanut butter on it or something.
Yeah, I see Shy as being very confused at like what Mama's doing right now.
Yeah. Like checking in.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna start mumbling because I see Yume trying to pound on the door, so I want to keep these people still.
Sure. Yume, why don't
So
you
I'm
go?
just gonna mutter.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yume, can I get a perception check from you from when the dude was dodging through the door? I want to see if you noticed what was through the door.
Perception.
Yeah,
I'm not good at that.
I know.
That's a 5.
Okay. You did not see what was through the door. Yeah. Okay.
Could I see what was the door? Do
Uh,
I need the rest of it?
no, I still saw you as sort of doing your
Acting.
You know what? Yeah. I'm sort of on the fence
okay.
as a GM about like whether everyone can roll all the time. I try and make it situationally make sense.
That's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So Yume's pounding on the door. Battle is pacing the car, mumbling. Freya is Freya pleased that Battle has fallen in with your plans? Like, how are you?
Yes, and Freya is just continuing to try and add to the dramatics because she knows that this, like, the most likely way to get what they want is for everyone in the train to decide that they are so distressing that they need to, like, hide them away, or kind of contain the hysteria that is currently happening.
Mm-hmm.
So she is going to continue to just like be very distressed and very vocal and very loud about how something needs to be done.
Got it. All right. All right. So as all of the, sorry, and Winnie, you are.
Winnie is just like kind of looking between everybody, trying to figure out what the hell is going on and like what she should do, but
No one's
It's
giving
just
you any
kinda-
instructions. Yeah.
nobody's giving me any instructions. So I'm just gonna kind of just stand there and just keep looking at people, trying to make eye contact and like silently ask what I should be doing.
Okay. So into the midst of this, a soldier appears in the doorway. Now I would like all of you to roll perception checks because the door is going to open right in front of you.
$18.
Okay.
$16.
Okay.
15.
8.
Freya, you see nothing. You're at just the right angle for the door to. You see the door whoosh open and the door whoosh close and the soldier appear and that's it.
Sounds right.
Sorry, Aegon has decided he needs pets. Yes, doctor, I understand. I heard an 18. Who got an 18?
Winnie.
Winnie, you can see another almost identical soldier. They look very similar because they're both wearing helmets that cover a lot of their face. And they're about the same size. You can also see the terrified door guard, and they're standing in the doorway. And the soldier appears to be blocking the view, but you do see a glow flicker behind him. I heard a 16.
Yes, you did.
Yep. So, you may. I actually think the glow. Oh, did I hear a 16 from both of you? From Battle
You
and
you as well?
yeah, you may as well.
Yes.
So I actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to flavor this differently for both of you. I think you're gonna recognize that glow.
Ooh.
That's what you're looking for. Battle, I think you're more focused on the soldier. Does that sound all right?
Sure.
Yeah, so they both have swords and daggers. They seem very forbidding, and they move like they know what they're doing.
So I'm witnessing the kind of oncoming threat.
Yes. All right. So there's a soldier standing in the doorway, and he says, "What is the meaning of this?"
Winnie is going to burst into tears, like real tears, like hysterical sobbing, and like run toward him and like try to hug him.
He immediately.
Go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
Can I cast Fairy Fire while she's doing this?
What do you think fairy fire does?
Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light. I would love green. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. For the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Oh my god, this is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Where are
infection
you
is
casting
spreading.
that? Oh, you're gonna cast it on a 20-foot cube. All right, yeah.
It's a 20-foot cube, so I just want it around us.
All right.
Just everyone and everything.
So everyone has to
Everyone.
roll. You said a Constitution saving throw.
So dexterity saving throw, and I
Dexterity.
have to roll to see if... Oh wait, no, I just cast it. There's no... Unless you
You
have
don't
me roll
roll.
for something to
No,
pass it.
no, I don't think so. I think fairy fire is just a thing in it.
It just says use,
Yeah,
not cast.
Nope.
It says use.
it just happens.
Okay.
And we have to beat your spell DC of
14.
14.
I'll voluntarily fail it and turn green.
Great.
Yeah, I only got 10.
you mate.
So Winnie turns green. Freya. Roll one for
Oh,
shy
I'm
as
totally
well.
voluntarily failing it.
Okay,
for
so,
sure.
Is shy roll one for shy? I don't think shy can voluntarily.
Okay.
Oh no.
Hound of the
why are we? Oh
Baskerville
no.
situation.
I
Oh, dandy.
Yeah, I was going to not mention it. Like, I could just say Dandy is back home at the moment,
No,
but I think
he's
that adds more
invisible.
drama.
Yeah, I forgot
He
about
could
that.
be in the last
That'll add to
room,
the
he could
chaos.
be back
That'll
in the
add to
other
the
room.
chaos.
Part
Just
of
have him
the
flying around.
No, you
Yeah,
know
exactly.
what?
I like the
Yeah.
drama.
I did have him on the periphery, and I have him. So the way I've been doing this is if he's invisible, but there, I have him next to you. But if he's invisible and in the other world, I have him pulled out of the scene. I have him pulled out of the scene, so I think he was away from you for the parlor car.
Are you interested in the story going in the direction if you were here?
I would find that highly entertaining. So if you would like him to be there, yeah, for sure. All right. So
Okay, so Shy failed it with a score of 4. Including the bonus.
Dandy got 10.
Great failed as well. So just to set the scene here, this soldier
Extra glowy or no?
I don't think this adds to your glow. So you all look like glow
Okay.
sticks right now. For the record. So this soldier stomps into this car, says, "What is the meaning of this?" Winnie throws herself at him. He starts to draw his sword, and everybody turns green. Winnie, I'm gonna need a grapple. Are you trying to stop him from doing something?
No, I'm just trying to act like a really distraught woman who wants to be comforted
He's gonna
and saved from whatever's going on.
He's gonna try and draw his sword. Are you gonna try and entangle that, or like scream and fall away?
I think I'm gonna try and like grab him so that his like arms are pinned to his side.
Give me a grapple check.
God,
I don't
is
remember
that
how to
just strength?
do that, Tyler.
Athletics versus athletics or acrobatics for the person trying to resist.
I'm good at athletics. Let's see how this goes.
Well, while she's rolling, can I point out that objects in a 20-foot cube also glow?
Objects
So the whole
glow?
car looks like
Yep, the tables,
Objects.
the papers,
everything.
chairs.
The papers!
This
Wow.
is amazing.
Everything is glowing. Yep. I don't have an effect for this. That I could. Can I just make like a green fog? No. What did Winnie roll?
21.
Okay, my guy rolled a nat 20.
Ah, fuck.
So the way I'm gonna have this work is I'm just gonna use this and I'm gonna put it around you all. So everything in this space is glowing green. Okay? Except the dude.
I was gonna say, including the guard.
Nope, the soldier passed his thingy. Nope, that's not what I wanted to move. I want to move this thing. Yeah, do it like this.
But he's the
That was
only
a
one
really-
who's not green.
Yeah, he's the only one who's not green, which actually fits your story quite well. So Winnie, he's going to very skillfully sort of shove you away a little bit, like he's going to fend off your grapple, and he draws his sword. What do the rest of you do? I'm not going to call for initiative because he's not attacking anybody, but he's drawn his sword.
I scream.
Perfect.
Freya also just screams and goes a little, just screams and looks more distressed and starts to yell and babble more.
We need help. Why are you trying to attack us? She's clearly sick and it's contagious.
Everyone, silence!
I think I'm gonna kind
I'm
of
still sobbing.
give Shy the hand signal to bark and jump.
I'm gonna not be quiet.
Hang on, I'm thinking.
I'm still rubbing my arms and kind of like
Yeah.
ants under my skin, kind of a look. But I'm not talking, but I'm watching him.
Ooh, I'm gonna send Dandy home. I know he's already turned, like, he's visible because of the fairy fire, but like it's too late. He's possibly already been seen. I'm gonna make him go away.
Okay. So I've got 2 to 3 screaming women. One mumbling to herself. And a barking, lunging dog.
He's more jumping than lunging, but he could if he was not familiar with dogs, he would interpret it as lunging for sure. But she's just kind of like bouncing around, barking like I gave her permission to be a puppy again.
You've released her, yeah.
Yeah.
The soldier is going to swing his sword in a menacing manner. He's trying to make you all back up. Do you do this?
Freya would like to stop yelling, but step forward towards him and say very quietly, "You need to help my friend right now."
Are you casting a spell?
No.
You're just gonna say you need to help my friend right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. While Freya's saying that, I wanna start slowly mumbling a little louder and walking very slowly towards him, like zombie style.
He's gonna, like, if you guys start moving toward, yeah, so you're all moving towards him?
Well, what is Yume doing? She's the
Uh,
closest.
And, yeah,
I-
what's Yume and Winnie doing?
I did stop shouting at him when he
Right.
yelled, but I don't think I've done anything else since then.
Would you move away from him or move towards him? Because Freya
if
and
you-
Battle are moving towards him.
I won't move away if the other two are coming closer.
I'm being like I have very like when he started waving his sword, I stopped yelling and I got very, very calm
Like, business-like, yeah.
and quiet. Yeah. And like
Uh.
stepped forward very purposely, not like into his sword, but took like a step forward and looked at him and like very calmly while I'm glowing green.
Uh-huh. Very unsettling. And Winnie?
Where did I end up after he kind of like shoved me off?
I think you ended up probably... Oh, no. My program is freezing. Come on, buddy. No, I don't want any of those. What is happening?
Well, we're all very close at this point.
Am I now frothing?
No! No, ignore the bubbles. Sorry, I'm trying to move stuff. Can I make this a terrain
A lot of
thing?
stuff going on in that area.
I know, I'm getting rid of this. It's bothering me. You're all green. The end. I think you ended up probably about here. And I think Shy, to have room to dodge around, is probably running around behind you guys.
Got it. I think I'm still crying, but like leaned up against the wall and like kind of like between sobs asking him to help us.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to roll for initiative because this gentleman feels threatened and he is now he's going to swing his sword and mean it.
Defund the police.
Yep. Um,
Freya got an 18.
give me
Yeah, Freya.
help me give me one moment. I got to take some notes and build a thingy. One
Totally.
second.
I'm kind of stressed out by this. I don't know what to do.
I am too. If that makes you feel any better, I don't know what to do either, but we're gonna figure it out together. I feel like if he's trying to get you to make space and you all crowd up on him, I really think his reaction would be to start swinging.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Like, he does not know what's going on and he just wanted order. And y'all were all yelling and stuff, not giving him any space. It's a very crowded conditions.
Yeah,
It's a
we
small
maybe
train car, and
could've-
there's 4 of us.
I mean,
we
Freya's
could've
goal
fallen
is to
back
make
and let him come
this
in
big
and then
stressing
talk about
enough
it.
that-
Yep. That
We had to
would've-
keep up the act.
Yep. I completely understand. Okay. Freya, you said you got an 18.
I did.
What did Yume get?
7. Dirty.
Battle?
16?
And Winnie.
8.
This also makes Battle very stressed out because she's not about confrontation, but she's got to ride with this plan.
Yep. I think this is a pretty classic, like, consequences thing. I try to make sure the world has actual consequences. And this just feels like one of those things. Like, this is happening now. We're gonna see this through. It's gonna be fine. We'll discuss how this happened later. As a group. Of friends. Because this is just how D&D goes sometimes. Especially when your GM didn't prepare anything. Except this very pretty train map, you see. Believing that everything would be fine. She's vamping while she figures out her little table thing. Alright, vamping over. Everything will be fine, and I am enjoying this. Just to clarify my mumbling. Brea, you are up first. Battle, you are kind of on deck. I want to remind you that I'm going to tell
Excellent.
you who's up and who's on deck. If I say kind of on deck, that means there's probably a combatant between you and the other person. Freya,
I
what you
would
doing?
like to cast command.
Got it. Oh, I don't have any of my colors.
Um,
I need my colors.
It's a wisdom saving throw, and it's 14.
He fails that hard.
Excellent. I just look at him and I get like even calmer, and you can see lightning crackle from like my eyes and my hair, and I just say help.
That's a good one.
And hang on, let me look up what this does.
Saved by the lightning bolt.
Well, this will just cancel out all of my table building.
I'm really sorry.
No, I'm absolutely kidding. This is what I thought you were doing when you said help my friend.
Yeah, well, I didn't have that prepared, and I thought it was a really good idea, but I didn't want to then just be like, yeah, retcon, that's totally what happened. So
In the future, you can
this was more
totally do
fun to
that.
me.
This is fun though. I like how this is going as well.
I thought this was more fun and true to what Freya would have actually done.
See,
because she
that's-
would have forgotten that spells exist.
Well, and maybe what happened was like she was like, "You should help my friend," and he was like, "I'm gonna stab you instead." And she was like, "Wait, don't I have a spell for this?" Like that sounds
Yeah.
very Freya-ish.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very Freya.
And it just.
Um,
Is,
and this, you get to determine how the target behaves because it's
Yeah.
not one of the like typical command words.
right.
So he's going to try and follow the command, but it is as vague as help.
All right. I think what will end up happening is he doesn't have enough information to follow that command.
Mhm.
But stabbing you with his sword is not helping.
I'm really glad.
So he does stop trying to stab anyone. I think is going to be the compromise.
It's
I
a little
make
worried
here.
I would go the other direction.
No.
So.
Like, reasonably, right? You've said help. Stabbing, screaming women.
reasonably.
Right, and with the intention to help you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that, right? Like, helping him would probably just be murdering all of you, but maybe not.
Would be
It's
murdering all of us.
because
Who
it
knows?
would make you shut up, and that was what he wanted, right? You know, but like, you see where I'm going with this. This is
Yeah.
so and then of course my brain starts spinning off into all these possibilities. Like, is he aware enough to be like, well, if I murder 4 women, maybe I'll get in trouble, so it wouldn't be helping. You see, right? So on the surface, he
Yeah.
doesn't know what you need. But he's pretty sure stabbing you is not it. So he stops trying to stab you. So for his turn,
Great.
he's going to stand there and look very confused, like he's trying to ask a question.
And honestly, that's helpful.
And right? Asking questions is usually helpful, as long as you're not a dick about it, internet. Just saying. And I think he's just going to sort of choke out the word how on his turn. And then it's Battle's turn.
Excellent.
And Winnie is on deck, kind of.
I think I'm going to, now that he's kind of receptive, I think I'm going to keep up the low tone so the other guys don't catch on that we're putting on a farce. But definitely using some serious performance and being like, I don't know what's going on. Can you help us to the next car to see if there's anyone who can help me? I need your help getting through to someone who can help.
Yeah, use that word as often as possible. Perfect. Can you roll me a performance or a deception check, whichever one you're better at? Actually, I will also give you intimidate. I'm sorry. Wow, I realized I was going to cough this much. I wouldn't have
okay.
streamed. I'm sorry. If
okay.
intimidate
All
is
of these
higher,
are
I
the
will let
same
you do that as
score.
well.
All of them are the same.
Okay.
Persuasion's higher than any of those, but I don't feel like this is persuasion because he's under a spell.
Yep. What'd you get?
11.
And is it specifically a performance or a deception check?
Deception.
But
But he asked for my help, so that doesn't make sense. So maybe performance? I don't know.
he asked for your help?
Yeah, he said how. He's like, how do I help you? He said
Right.
how.
Right.
Was his turn. So I'm trying to tell him how.
Mhm.
Is that deception or is that perform? I feel like, as much as I don't want it to be, I feel like that's performance in the fairness of things.
It's kind of so the difference between perception and deception and performance for me is kind of how you're doing it. I see deception as being a little more subtle, and performance as being a little more you're trying to be distracting in your
I think
your deception.
I'm trying to be a little bit more discreet because I'm trying not, at this point, I'm recognizing we're pivoting towards motion. Now that we've got him incapacitated.
Yeah, kind of. So you've asked him to help you into the next car, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how successful this was, but to help us find someone who can help me with my glow.
Right.
This was a
Find
two-parter.
someone to help. Okay, so he is going to. So this is all happening very quickly. So he focuses on you, hears the words you're saying, it echoes the command, right? So he puts his hand down to the platinum ring he has on his belt, but he can't do anything with it on this turn because combat. But he sort of I tried to move the wrong screen. That was fun. He's gonna sort of start half turning to unlock the door. Before he can do that, a second soldier appears. He sees his comrade with a drawn sword starting to open the door. He sees all of you crowding him, and you're all green. Battle is still mumbling. Are Winnie, Freya, and Yume? No, Yume, you said you stopped screaming. What about Freya and Winnie? Freya got all commandy.
Winnie's still crying.
Winnie's still crying.
Yeah, Freya's all commandy.
So he's basically gonna walk into a mess, and he's gonna look at the other guy and say, "Orders," and hold his action for further input. Winnie, you are up, and Yume, you are on deck. What's Winnie doing? Oh, by the way, all of the dudes in this room have scrambled to the far end of the car away from you, and are sort of pressed up against a door that they can't go through, and look either confused or terrified, depending on who you're looking at. And I think Ned has actually
too, aren't they?
Yes, I think Ned has actually pressed himself into a corner, like shoved his face into a corner, like nope, 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 nope. And I think one of the guys is like brushing his arms, like, why am I green? Because when you turned green, it was just your skin, but now everything is green. So he's like brushing at his coat, like, what is happening here? So he's a confused one. Ned's terrified. Yeah, we get a mix there, just for the record. All right, what's Winnie doing?
I think I'm just gonna wait and see what happens.
Are you holding your action for anything specific? Like if somebody starts stabbing things, you want to stab them first?
I think I have my axe still kind of like concealed behind me, so like it's ready to go. I'm not gonna take it out or anything like that, but I'm definitely like primed to grab it if shit goes south.
I'm gonna write until someone gets aggressive. Is that all right?
Yes.
If anything tries to bite you, then you're gonna smash it.
Yes,
Now-
I learned from the mimic.
Now I think I've been using hold action wrong, so I think that is in effect until the beginning of your next turn, I believe, which gets a little confusing for me. So help me out with this. Yume, you're up. What's Yume doing?
So, the guard with the sword came through and let the door shut behind him momentarily before the second guard came in.
Correct. The doors. I want to remind you that. I don't know if Freya shared this information. Freya, I had detect magic up when the doors opened, and she noticed that there was a spell on the doors that made both doors open and close again fairly quickly. So she urged you all to move quickly through it. So I don't know how much of that she had shared at the time.
I think I would have, given that general information.
Yeah, okay. So you know that, Yume.
And I saw a particularly familiar glowing
Yes.
light.
Yep.
Is it like magical or just kind of seemingly mundane that's familiar?
It is magical.
Okay. So, from my perspective, anyone in that room would probably also see that light.
Yes.
So tough. Could I just want to kind of crouch, maybe not crouch, but be prepared on my toes to try to run through the door if it opens again.
Okay.
I'm not going to communicate anything. She's kind of singularly focused at this point. She's seeing the door open and close a couple times. And if there's another guard, or if they're gonna waver at all anymore, she's just gonna take that opportunity to dash through.
Got it. All right. So I'm writing down that you're holding your action until the door opens. So if I say the door opens again, remind me of this because my brain is gone. But I wrote it down in case we end up ending the session and having to do. Okay. We're back at the top of the round. I'm back to Freya. Now this this command, how long does this last?
I think it only lasts for his turn.
To the beginning of his next turn?
Is my understanding.
Well, he just has to spend his next turn
He
following
has to
it.
spend his turn following it. So he's like technically followed the command.
That's true. Okay. So it's your turn again.
So Freya is going to look at the new. Go ahead.
Sorry, Battle, you're kind of on deck. I'm trying to do that more. Sorry, Freya, what are you doing?
Freya is going to look at both of the soldiers and say, clearly there is some kind of magical something that has gotten out of control. Is there anywhere where this can be contained safely?
I think at this point I'm gonna... I don't think we should be in initiative anymore because he's not attacking. Nobody's actually attacked anybody. He went to attack, but Frey kind of nipped that right in the bud. Does that sound right to everybody?
I mean, I'd accept that.
Sure.
All right,
That'd be fine with me.
give me one moment.
I think so.
And I think I like, because none of you have been like, I'm gonna attack the dude, even in your held
I'm getting ready
actions.
to.
Oh, sure. Wait, are you gonna...
No, I'm joking. Like,
Oh.
I have no qualms about attacking these people soon if they make a mistake, but it doesn't seem like that's the course of action right now.
No, I think the guy coming through the door is going to be like, what is happening here? But you've all stopped screaming. Winnie's still crying, and you're all still sort of crowding. But I think at this point what would end up happening when Freya's like, is there somewhere for this to be contained? The soldier... the first soldier is gonna shake his head like he's not quite sure what just happened, and he's gonna look at the second soldier, and he's gonna look at all of you, and he's like, will you all please just sit down? And the second soldier starts to sort of like motion you all towards seats, and I see the tension in the room sort of dropping rapidly at this point where nobody's waving swords around anymore. The soldier that came in didn't even draw his sword. He was just asking for orders from the first one. And so they start to calm you all down and like settle you down so they can ask you questions and stuff. Are you gonna...
So Freya, this is going to make Freya a little bit anxious because she thinks that if people start to be calm around this, they might realize that nothing going on is actually particularly dangerous.
Mhm.
And so she's going to kind of like make a face at Battle to hopefully start ramping it back up in a non-violent or distressing way, or clearly a very distressing way towards the soldiers, and look back at the soldiers and say, she was green and now everyone is green. And I think it's gotten to her brain, like, I don't think this is getting better. I think it needs to be contained immediately. Do you have anything that can contain or block powerful magic? Because we need that right now.
And the soldier says, I am just a soldier. We don't have any magicians or wizards on this train.
But
and you're right. We are going to contain it to this car. Nobody leaves.
Freya is going to look at him and say, that's not going to work. It's going to get bigger outside of this car. I know that this train is very well known for carrying very powerful magics, and that's done in a safe way. You need to take us there before this gets worse.
Battle's gonna wiggle in between and sit in like a fetal position between the soldier's feet,
Oh, God.
banging her head gently on the door to be like, I'm not okay, but also like not aggressive.
Yep. Okay. They sort of like watch what you're doing. They look
Maybe
at...
not bang, but just kind of like rock and lean my head against the door
Yeah,
every
you're
time I
sort of,
rock,
like,
and my
gently-
muscles are very tense.
Right. When you mention known for containing magics, they look at each other sort of sharply, like, what's going on here? And they straighten up out of their posture was sort of like trying to settle you down. They both straighten up sort of into a better stance, like a straighter. Oh my god, they stand up straight. They stand up straight, and they look at each other, and they look at Freya, and they're looking down at Battle, and the second soldier just says orders again, and the first soldier says, I don't. No one's leaving this car. No one. Freya, actually, before I say that, Freya, can you roll a persuasion, and can I'll say that you have advantage because Battle is adding to this story.
I got an 18. No, I got 17. I'm bad at counting. I'm sorry.
And you've specifically asked him for a place to contain strong magics.
I've specifically said, like, something is wrong and this is spreading and it needs to be contained. So yeah, I specifically, but
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you have a cool magical item. I was like, this is going to, like, take over the train. We need to put it somewhere.
Right. So I'm just thinking out loud here. You've got these two soldiers. They don't know what to do with magic, really. Like, these are just guards. And you've presented them with a problem that is outside of their training. And you're giving them very clear directions. And you're referring to something that you shouldn't know about in their minds. But they have to do something. And so they're kind of...
And we look rich.
And you look rich. So they're wavering because their orders are to not let anybody into the next room. But this is obviously, like, spreading. Does the fairy fire move with you, or does it stay?
I asked because I cast it in a 20-foot radius.
Right.
So if we were towards the front of the car, did the second soldier pass the roll, or was he impacted? Or because it doesn't say anything about being limited by walls.
He did not pass the roll, so as soon as he entered... Right, it isn't limited by walls, and 20 feet radius is actually really big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. So if the lights were off in that room, everything within the range. So it says the range area
So
is
this
60
would
feet
clearly
by
look
20
like it's
feet.
spreading.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just for reference, a 20-foot radius would be like that big. Like you're covering this entire car and most of the
Plus
next
a little.
car.
Ugh.
Yeah. Just for reference.
Isn't each of those squares 5 feet though?
It is, but it's a 20-foot radius.
Oh, so it's 40 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done math in a while.
So if
Forgot
there's
what
anything on
radius
top
meant.
of the train and below of the train, it goes into the ground and up to the...
Yeah, it's a sphere. So I had been playing this wrong for a while, and we found out
It's a cube.
Oh, is it a cube? Pretend this is a cube.
Weirdly.
How is a cube with a radius?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It says each object in a 20-foot cube within range.
Oh,
Oh, a 20-foot cube then would be...
it's still the same math. Oh no.
No, it wouldn't. No,
It is half the
it's
size.
smaller. Can I
So it's
make it smaller?
20 feet in a square-shaped object away from my body wherever I cast it.
Yep. So 5, 10, 15... 20.
So,
So it would be
whatever is
about-
20 from where my character was, which is about where Shy was at the time,
Yeah.
up, back, each way. So it's 20 feet. Because I don't know what it means, the range... I think the area of the cube is a total of 60 feet. The spread of the cube is 20 feet each way. So it's 20 feet in front, 20 feet behind.
Uh-huh. No, it's not 20 feet in front and 20 feet behind. It's a 20 feet cube centered on you. Wait. Oh my goodness.
They're not centered on her.
Not centered.
With
No.
within 60 feet of her.
Within 60 feet. So you just place a 20-foot cube somewhere.
So she
you
placed it on
placed
herself.
On yourself.
I placed it on us in this car.
Yeah. So these people, so the guys in the back of the car don't have this anymore. You cast it on yourself. I'll say it was right here. So as soon as they moved out of the area, like they are not being affected by this glow. But
It doesn't move with them?
No, I think it's just in this area.
The area doesn't stick. It's whatever is hit by it on that casting. They are affected by it no matter where they go. The area doesn't just
So it
sit
would
there.
stick with them.
Yeah, objects and affected creatures. Okay, so yeah, it does stick to them. So anybody that enters this space now has the thing for the time.
This
Okay.
is such a fun spell.
This is well, we're learning a lot about it.
I love it.
We're learning a lot about it. Yeah, that's for sure. Let me just check one thing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's only
It only lasts a minute though.
and it's only any creature in the area when the spell is cast. So the soldier coming in after the spell is cast wouldn't get
Well, I
outlined.
think he would have been in that
Oh, okay.
in range because he would have been right at the door. So I think he is green. It does only last a minute. I think it's still active right this second. I'll tell you when I think it ends. Okay, so we're at stop that. We're at we were discussing the soldier's thought process, which is they are not allowed to take anyone in there, but they have to contain this magical containment. And I think yeah, I think he's going to be like, I think the first soldier who isn't green is going to say, we are going to need to confine you ladies for the remainder of the trip in the following car. Please come with us.
Freya tries really hard not to look happy and pleased.
You see Yume's eyes light up from the wall behind the guards. Like everyone else sees it, I'm hoping, but not the guards.
Winnie is still crying.
Okay.
Or Winnie.
We also
Winnie.
haven't told Winnie what we're doing, so like hopefully she caught on. Because if not, I didn't make it over Winnie to tell her what was happening before we
This was
started.
like super scary for poor Winnie.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Winnie would know what's going on?
She
or
was
is
flirting,
just
right?
confused? She was flirting, and then y'all started causing a ruckus. Would Winnie have picked up on this?
So I did like my own little like wisdom
Mhm.
roll just to see if I would pick up on what was going on, and I got like a 5. So I don't think Winnie legitimately knows what's going on.
Would this be the kind of thing where, like, Winnie has put on uncomfortable clothing, has tried to act fancy, has tried to flirt, it hasn't gone well, is very uncomfortable right now because she can't hit anything with an axe in any of these rooms, and then her friends suddenly started yelling, and one of them's green, and this is too much, and so she's legitimately like, I am sob right now. Does that sound right?
Yes, sounds about right.
Okay.
Can I, like, point at poor Winnie so Shy goes and comforts her, and then stand up feebly so they think I'm still sick?
Yes.
Okay.
Shy absolutely goes to Winnie. Does this help Winnie? Does Winnie like dogs? I mean, she's familiar with them from
Yeah, it reminds her of Tina.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna escort you.
Also, I think Ren lets out a little.
Do turtles
Little
make
turtle.
noise?
They do now.
Yes,
They do.
All right.
they do though.
I'm gonna yell at the Gemhammer guys, because this completely changed this entire. Like, I am so glad I didn't plan anything because I've gotten really used to this group in particular doing shenanigans. All right, so you guys are moving into the next car, so that's what's gonna happen. So just hang out for a moment while I figure out how to do that. Because I added
Hooray, a sparkly cage. This is a good thing.
bunch
right?
of stuff. So they're gonna usher you into this room. I think between the conversation you have and the ushering, I think the green glow fades at this point. They shove the door guy back through the door, so it's just the four of you and these guards. And one stays by the door, and the second one goes over and stands in front of this cage. Behind him, very clearly in the cage, is a fist-sized bright glow, and it's frantically zipping around the cage, and it's not quite touching the bars. There seems to be sort of a crackling whenever it nears them. Yume, you recognize this immediately as the aspect you were looking for. Can everybody else roll a perception check, and feel free to use Arcana if you've got it.
16.
17.
9.
Ooh.
Okay, Freya, it's shiny. It's magical.
Seems right.
Yeah, it's shiny. Winnie, this is not something you have direct experience with, but from working with Freya, or not Freya, Jesus, from working with Tina, you actually do recognize sort of a godliness around this. Not it isn't a god, but it's got that kind of like feel. You know, this isn't of this world necessarily. And Battle, I think you're gonna have a similar experience. I think you probably got that from your experience with Yume. Does that sound right? Like, I'm not sure you'd know exactly what it was, but I think from your association with Yume, maybe you'd make that connection. Does that sound?
Yeah, or just inferring that, like, based on their behaviors too, just being aware and
Oh, yeah.
trying to survey.
Okay. We are close to the end of our session. I think this is a fun moment to leave off in, and
No.
because I don't think we'll be able to resolve this evening in the time that we have left.
We can play for another 2 hours, right?
No, I do not have I am very exhausted from life events, so I'm not going to be able to go late tonight. Would you all be all right with me ending this, or do you want me to do a little bit more?
No, it makes sense.
Okay with it?
Yeah. it
I
makes
like
sense
the
to stop
cliffhanger,
here.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
up to
can't
you.
go late tonight either. So,
That's okay.
All right. So this is the scene. I'm going to click the save button a million times. You pile into this car. A soldier rushes in front of you and tries to stand in front of this cage. There's a soldier on the door. The glow fades, except from Battle. She's still green. And Yume, you see the aspect you've been looking for, and Battle and Winnie. This looks like what you've been looking for. Freya sees a shiny thing. Shy is still comforting Winnie. Winnie's probably still crying.
Yep.
Yep. All right. That's where we're going to leave it for the evening. What did you all learn this evening?
I've never been so positively, happily frustrated with a stopping point before.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I do this a lot, actually. It comes from being a writer. I can sense good moments of, like, you know what, I could pause here and then I can have time to make some stuff up and it'll be fun. Or I can rush it, you know, and I've rushed some things. I rushed something recently because I didn't quite know what to do, and I didn't take enough breaths in the moment, and it didn't quite play out the way I wanted. And so I'm getting better at sensing those moments where I'm like, if I give myself just a little bit of room, I can do something cool with this. This is one of those moments. So yeah, it's frustrating, but it's kind of fun too. I'm glad you're finding the fun part of it. So it doesn't look like we've got too many people in stream, but in case we have somebody and this is just not reflecting viewers correctly, we're gonna capture some things that the players learned this evening. Then we're gonna go through role-playing points. I accept good role-playing moments from chat, and then the players will vote on their favorite role-playing moment. That person will get advantage on a roll next session. So we'll start with, what did everybody learn this evening?
I don't know how to word this, but and I don't know whether it's more of an out of character or in character sort of thing. But in this moment, it feels like Winnie doesn't do too well without having clear plans. Like it seems like maybe she feels left out when, like, doesn't feel comfortable with jumping into a plan without having it discussed first. I don't know.
Not comfortable with improv?
Uh,
Social
I
improv?
think
Winnie,
she
do you
has her
want to
limits.
say
Like,
that a
she-
different way?
Yeah.
She
If
can
I'm-
handle a certain
like-
amount, but just all the things happening at once was just a bit too much.
Freya and Battle's methods of improv are probably part of that scenario, I think. The two of our
It's very
characters
much
together.
like yeah. We take a sledgehammer approach.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
I think Battle would have been fine. Sorry, I'm getting all the names confused. I'm sorry. Tell me if this sounds right. I think Winnie would have been fine if the improv revolved around smashing things. But because the improv revolved around screaming ladies and flirting, it just kind of got a little too much for Winnie. Does that track? I'm seeing some head nods. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, if
It
it
was
was
the-
like, let's smash this, she'd be like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
But like,
I think if Frey
let's
had,
all play pretend is a little much.
yeah, I think if Frey had leapt up and been like, kill that, Winnie would have been like, great.
It was a weird blend between us all kind of improvising, but also there was kind of a plan going on. So it just a blend of the two.
So I wrote down Winnie has limits to improv scenarios. Does that capture what you wanted? Anything you want me to add or rephrase there?
That works for me.
All right. What else did you learn this evening?
Freya learned that being dramatic and whiny is incredibly effective.
No, that's a terrible thing for her to have learned. If there are any children watching this, that's not true.
It's effective when you're hijacking an evil train full of people who are smuggling magical beings, and only in that situation.
There are limited situations where that is true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drink some tea after this. Okay, what else did you learn this evening?
Battle's inexplicably glowing and really good at pretending like that's a big problem, even though it's just kind of annoying.
All right. Other things you learned.
I guess just literally, we learned that the Queen Bee aspect is on this train.
Yep.
Like, she is for sure here. I mean, I believe that. I trusted that because she told me. Like, my patron told me so to come here, but, like, nothing weird happened.
Very specifically,
right
your
here.
patron told you that. You should probably never really believe your GM. Just for the record. That's kind of a 50-50 thing. I absolutely would have lured you onto this train as a GM just to see all of this happen.
So
Find
I
a note,
hopped
you
in
know,
my
inside the cage.
I hopped in my character description to add that she's now glowing,
Mhm.
and she was already kind of glowing, unless one of y'all added that.
No, yeah, you're... What? Why were you already glowing?
I don't know, but I clicked in on my character's characteristics
Oh, I didn't
on
add
her
it.
skin color. Unless Tech added it, she was already kind of having this faint glow, so she must be like a light bright at this point.
I remember early in character creation, you were like, she's kind of has like a luminescent sort of appearance to
Yeah.
her.
I think this is a little different, right? Like, I imagine that as sort of like your skin has sort of a pearly luminescence to it. You know, not quite Twilight glittering vampires, but just sort of a sheen
Yeah, no.
to you.
Yeah.
This is more like you are... If this were a dark room...
Nightlight.
It's a nightlight, yeah. This is a nightlight scenario. All right. Any more learns, or would you like to move into role-playing moments? What is the
I don't have
date?
anything substantial.
The date is the 12th
I have a
of
question,
September.
though.
Yeah.
You had said that when we looked through the door, I had seen 2 guards in this room, besides the one that was in our car.
No, I did not say that. Or if I did, I misspoke. I said that you saw the
Okay.
guard and the door guy.
Okay.
So the door guy...
Just making sure.
Yeah, the door guy ran... I appreciate
And
that.
they shoved him back through.
And yes. Yeah, I appreciate that because sometimes I do forget that stuff. Okay, what were good role-playing moments from this evening? They don't have to be particularly clever or funny. They just have to be really good. You played through that really well. What are some of your favorites?
Battle casting fairy fire.
That was really
Mhm.
good.
Also, Freya coming up with that excuse that like sick must be contained.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was spreading. You guys worked really well together on that. That was some
That's the only reason I thought of fairy fire.
that was some fantastic role playing. Yeah. What else?
I just like the simple, like, battle deciding to sit down between the guy and his second work table. Like, just getting in the way of that.
Yep. So she could read the files. That was smart. Other good moments.
As far as role playing goes, like, deciding that Winnie is just gonna start crying. Like, that was a choice. And
Yeah.
it's fitting.
It was a choice, and I think it was a true role playing. Like, you rationalized that out all the way. That really seemed like a really good Winnie moment.
It was a very sad Winnie moment.
I know.
Uh-huh.
It was just as true to Winnie smashing the crap out of that cute little mimic I made. It bit her on the butt. She's gonna smash it. Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you want me to put this? Winnie started crying.
Winnie
crying.
crying, a whole mood.
Yeah. All right. Crying. Yep. I got it. Yep.
2020 in a role-playing moment.
That's it.
Too soon. Too real. No, I don't. Okay. Other good role playing moments. Or if you're ready to vote, we can vote.
I think also like Battle's interaction with the two financial guys. It's like
Oh my gosh, Sarah felt so terribly through that whole thing.
being
Oh.
so like straight up and like making them all awkward and frantic. It was
Super
so great.
uncomfortable. Great. Yeah, that was a good. I liked that too. That was fun to play through. Any other good ones? Are you guys ready to vote? All right, go ahead and vote. We've got battle casting fairy fire. Freya coming up with the excuse the battle is sick and it is spreading. It must be contained. Battle sitting down and getting in the way of the guy's second work table so she could read the files. Winnie crying, a whole mood. And Battle's interaction with the two financial guys making them super uncomfortable. Got 3 votes. I've got 4 votes. I'm gonna throw a rainbow spoon on your vote, Tyler. So I've got 3 votes for Freya coming up with the excuse that Battle is sick and is spreading and it must be contained. So Freya, you're getting that point for next game.
Yay! Thank you.
All right, folks, you moved from the parlor car to the business car to the car with the aspect in it by just sort of like you did so many interesting role-playing moments tonight. It was absolutely fascinating. I loved watching you do every single moment of this. It was just what I needed this evening. So thank you so much for playing with me. You should be, so let's talk about where you can find us for the rest of the week. I know I've been super unreliable streaming wise lately. I'm very sorry, but my state is on fire. I should be doing a Brunches and Dragons tomorrow with a special guest. I think Dr. B is going to join me, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that should be entertaining. Treasure Tuesday should be back on. We had some people moving around, moving states, so we should be able to play Treasure Tuesday, and then I don't know if we'll be able to do Broken Bay next week. I think I've got a panel for PAX Online. You can find a bunch of
I don't-
us for
Yeah, I don't
PAX
think I'll be
Online.
able to do next week.
Yeah, I
because
don't
of-
think. Yeah, there's a panel I think where yeah. So for PAX Online panels, you can go to the Game to Grow website to catch the Freya's player and I. I'm like seven.
You just go to the
Spoon.
website. There's a big banner.
Big banner. It's the first thing you land on. GameToGrow.org. 2 is spelled out. T-O. Game 2. T-O. Grow. Where can we find Battles player this week?
Wednesday night, you'll see me representing queer women of esports on You Don't Look Gay. Queer women in esports.
Your hair's
on
not short.
the PAX online
Yeah.
panels. There's a lot of reasons why
Oh, I
I
know.
don't look gay.
Yep.
But that's the panel title.
You're too pretty.
That'll be at
Yeah.
7 Eastern. Yeah, that's a common one. So that'll be pre-recorded and we'll be in there with live commentary and question answering. And I'll be also streaming immediately after on GamerDoc stream.
Perfect. Yeah, the only reason I didn't describe all of the panels the Freya's player and I are in is because I honestly cannot remember the titles of them. There are too many, so please just go to the website. Can we find Yume's player anywhere this week for PAX Online or for anything else that you'd like to share?
Nope, I don't stream, but definitely check out all of that good and gross stuff. I'm excited about it myself.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I might be in the chat for that, so maybe you can find me there.
Yeah.
But that's yeah.
You're fun
Come
in
in on
chat.
the chat
So.
with us.
Yes, please.
Yes.
And Winnie's player, we got you anywhere for PAX Online or anything fun this week?
No, just
Yep.
work stuff and horse stuff and dog stuff. Bathing my dog every 3 days. So
No, that doesn't sound fun. All right. Well,
Yeah.
so there you have it, folks. If you want to contact me, I'm like 7spoon on Twitter. I respond to people there. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to say goodnight, stream. Everybody say bye, stream.
Bye,
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
We'll see you next week.